What is going on, guys? This is day 4 of the S54 swap. Nice and chilly outside. I did not get the motor in yesterday, unfortunately. It's just a little too much to get done yesterday because I got all of the M3 suspension swapped over onto this thing. I did get the new motor mounts installed, as you guys can see here. The E46 M3 control arms. I have this one unbolted just to get a little more clearance when I'm dropping the motor in. The reason why I didn't get the motor in, guys, it was just a little too many things I had to transfer over that nobody really talks about online. For instance, these heat shields right here are actually different. Not only do they have an M here, this is a lot wider to fit the larger control arm bracket, which will go, you know, tuck up in here. This one was different. There's an M. Other one back there, I think the back one was the same. But I had to transfer those over. And the next thing I want to do today before everybody starts coming over to help me with this motor installation is I want to change out this firewall insulation. As you guys can see, it's freaking banged up to shit. That wasn't even for me. So either the last guy who did the clutch replacement on this wagon or the guy before that really banged up that firewall insulation when he was getting the transmission back in. Firewall insulation on the M3 over here is in really good shape. It's only like 5 or 6 bolts, so I think I'm gonna start taking this one apart, get it on in and ready to go. That's how my morning is. Let's get on it. I'm actually kind of glad I did this because I didn't realize this before. Check this out, guys. Even the insulation is marked M3. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the wagon insulation out right now. Basically compare these two and see if there's any differences. You do have to disconnect the clutch line, which isn't really a big deal because I have to replace it anyways. The M3 is different. So this is the 325 one and this is the M3 one. Over here, one of the main differences I see is that it's a little bit more insulated right here. The 325 one is just a solid line. I really don't see a difference, guys. Everything's the same. This little pop out's still there. All the holes line up. That's super weird that they would do that. I don't know. Damn. So it does fit in the wagon. And I take it back, guys. I did find one difference. And you guys are gonna laugh about this one. The only difference is instead of the mounting hole being right here, it's about 2 inches this way right here on the non-M. So on the wagons, the 325s, the mounting position's right here. On an M3, it's right here. So yeah, it's not even a missing fastener, you know. They just moved the screw 3 inches over. So I don't really know why they did that, but regardless, I'm happy I got that in because mine looks like a piece of crap. One thing that I did last night was I went over to the car washers and I pressure washed the transmission nice and clean. That's it, guys. This has been a rough 4 days. I thought this thing would be on the ground already, but yeah, whoever says this swap can be done in 3 days, don't freaking believe them, guys. Unless they're just really just pulling the motor and putting it back in without transferring any M3 stuff over, such as the suspension and all, you know, the rear end and all that, brakes. It's not a 3-4 day project, guys. This is at least a 7-day project in my eyes. So I'm gonna get this on in and we'll continue on with the update after that. So right now I'm just preparing the transmission. I got some Sox clutch grease. Well, actually this is for the splines, not necessarily the clutch. So I'm just gonna put a little bit on my finger like this, and I'm gonna go ahead and just rub this on all the splines. And this usually comes in the clutch kit, guys, but I am reusing the clutch that came in the M3 because it's in good shape. So I have an extra packet of this stuff. Well, not even a packet, but it usually comes in a little packet. That's how it goes. So I'm gonna go ahead and grease this up, guys, and then after this we're gonna toss this onto the engine. So let's get it. All right, guys, so the moment has come. The S54 is ready to go into the wagon. Well, maybe I spoke too soon because I do have to bolt the transmission back on because, well, I want to put it all on one piece. So I'm gonna have to drop this down so I can get this bolt out, which is, well, what the chain is being held on to. Bolt the transmission on, put that right back on, and we should be in the clear. I also want to bolt on the AC compressor from the S54 because it'll be a whole lot easier to put on now than while it's in the car. It's only going to be these 3 bolts, which is super simple. Boom, boom, boom. And this will go right onto the car's line, and as well as this one by the firewall. So this thing should be in here pretty soon. My grandpa's doing a couple finishing things. So yeah, basically what I'm going to do right now is carry that transmission over to right over here and get this sucker bolted on to the S54. All right guys, so we got this thing in pretty smoothly, so we're gonna go ahead and put these bolts in. The last mechanic left the top one, he left that one out actually open. Last mechanic left the transmission bolt out, so I'm gonna have to rob it off the M54 motor. But geez, what the hell kind of mechanics are working on these things, man? Left the bolt out. So we're gonna get this all tightened up and put the chain back on. We'll be good to go. Here we are, it's getting in there. Everything's clearing underneath without the steering rack this time. Right now we're hooking up the heater hoses back there because, you know, this is the time to do that. And once these are hooked up, we're gonna go ahead and push the motor back a little bit further. We still have a ways to go. Here's where the engine mount goes. It's right here. So still got pretty far ways to go back. Oh, come on, dude. The threads right here for the screws to go through. On this hole and that hole. Hey, Chester. Oh, see? What do you have to say, dude?
I have to say, can't believe this is taking us 4 days already.
This is so much work. Oh my god.
I didn't care if I ain't have a tux for the black tie fair, cause it wasn't my type of party, type of crowd. I'd rather be where the fights and shootouts go down.
Yeah. Side right here. And yeah, I mean
now I also network with big millionaires, and you probably see my picture up in